So hello guys. First I'd like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Marina Mulyukina. I'm automation quality assurance engineer. I do functional and non-functional testing, and also I'm certificated penetration tester. I also do training programs in Tesena of mobile automation with Appium and WebDriver. With robot framework, and also we are preparing now a new training about CI/CD pipelines and mobile automation. My favorite sweet is dark chocolate, and my heart is in Iceland. So let's start. This is agenda for today, and today we will discuss colors of cybersecurity, cybersecurity and access control, components of access control, security and responsible data management, threats, tips and tricks, and after that we will have a question and answer section. So why cybersecurity is so important and why we decided to organize such webinar? Today, cyber attacks are no longer halted by just antivirus software or firewalls. The risk of cyber attacks is constantly increasing. And for companies and institutions, it's not longer a question if, but question when an attack will occur. And this underscores the critical importance of cybersecurity. And this year, the significance of cybersecurity will be greater than even before. With more enterprises operation online and the rise of connected devices and the Internet of Things, IoT, the attack surface for cyber criminals is growing exponentially. And consider this: if cyber criminals stole approximately $0.86 trillion in 2018 year, this year we lose something like $9.22 trillion. And it's huge sum. And some interesting facts for you. Hackers create new viruses every day. So every day we get new viruses. Last year, there were 343 million victims in the world. And more than 90% of organizations have reported email security incidents. So it's very dangerous for now.
Marina, I'm just sorry for interrupting you, but there is one lady, Monica, who can't see the slides. So yes, some ladies are answering what to do, but is there somebody else who can't see the slides? Okay.
So
probably two persons. Lukáš, who is our support. I hope you are listening to me. So we will take care of it, and I hope you can see them all. So please, you can follow, Marina. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a technical issue, I guess. Okay, role of quality assurance in cybersecurity. Quality assurance can play an important role in helping companies protect their data. Quality assurance is not just about ensuring that software works as expected, but also involves rigorous testing to identify security vulnerabilities that could be exploited by cyber criminals. By integrating security measures from the early stages of software development, quality assurance teams can help prevent potential breaches before software is deployed. That's why don't be afraid to organize security testing at your work. Use some materials from internet or create your own checklist and help your companies to protect data. And our first part of this webinar, colors of cybersecurity. Let's take a look at it. So do you know what this hat means in cybersecurity? White hat, gray hat, and black hat. So I will explain. A white hat person or pen tester or ethical hacker will have permission to break security for non-malicious reasons. On the complete opposite is the black hat hacker. Typically, a black hat hacker will try to break into a secure network to destroy or steal data or make the network unusable. A gray hat hacker is a combination of a black and white hat. Gray hat hacker may serve the internet and hack into computer systems for the purpose of notifying the administrator that their system has a security defect. They may then offer to correct the defect for a fee. And many websites such as Facebook and eBay, or for example, Reddit, offer bug bounties programs, which means that anyone who finds a vulnerability or weakness at sites will be able to send report about the situation and receive some money. And for example, I'm like a white hat hacker or ethical hacker or pen tester. I do my work for salary. And after my work, I can go home, open my website, for example, HackerOne, and try to hack some company and to get more money. So in this time, I will wear my gray hat because I don't have any contract with this company for my service. So next, in the field of cybersecurity, professionals often work in highly collaborative teams, red, blue, and purple. Each color represents a specific role within the cybersecurity framework. Red team are tasked with attacking or simulating realistic cyber attacks against their own organization's defenses, much like an external hacker might. Blue teams are responsible for defending against both simulated and real attacks. And purple teams serve as like a bridge between the red and blue teams. Their role is to ensure that the findings and methods of the red teams are fully understood and integrated by the blue teams. And together, these teams create a dynamic, comprehensive defense mechanism for organizations and help organizations protect data. Next, the second part of webinar will help you to understand basic threat-related security topics. So firstly, let's examine the hierarchy of security. We have here information security, IT security, cybersecurity, and the smallest circle, security testing. Information security. It encompasses all forms of information within our organization, symbolizing its broad scope that includes every type of data handling and protection. IT security is represented within information security. It's focusing especially on the protection of all our hardware, software, and data. And if information security is in generally all data that we have, software, hardware, and also knowledges and books and libraries, everything. IT security works with software, with hardware, and with data. Cybersecurity is a subset IT security and appears at its inner circle. Cybersecurity specifically addresses the security of systems, networks, and data that are accessible via the internet. So what does it mean? Cybersecurity works with everything that has access to internet. And security testing is a part of both cybersecurity and IT security. And it involves evaluating and assessing the security of a system or application to identify vulnerabilities, weaknesses, and potential threats. Next, access control. Access control is a crucial part of cybersecurity as it protects against unauthorized access, privilege escalation, and potential breaches. By implementing robust access control policies, organizations can improve their overall security posture and reduce their attack surface. Access control mechanisms can be broadly categorized into three main types: administrative, technical, and physical. Administrative control. I hope you can see the slide. Or administrative control or directive control. These are the policies, procedures, and guidelines established by an organization to govern its overall security posture and user behavior. They include user access policies, training programs, and any procedures that dictate how technical and physical controls are implemented and management. And also a very good example, background checks for new employees and even security training in organization. This is part of administrative control. Next, technical or logical controls. These controls involve the use of hardware, software, and firmware to manage and restrict access to information system and data. Technical controls are implemented through technology to automate the process of granting or denying access based on predefined rules. An example of this layer is user authentication mechanism like password, biometrics, encryption, firewalls. You can see I've added icons of antiviruses like Kaspersky, Avast, Bitdefender. Yeah, this is part of technical or logical control. And the last one, physical controls. These controls are designed to prevent unauthorized physical access, damage, and interference. And example here, fences, gates, guards, security badges, and access cards, and even our security receptions. This is part of physical controls. It's very important not to let criminals to go to inside of building of some company and not to steal sensitive information. So this is part of access control. And also the components of access control that we have to know, because like quality assurance, we work with all these components almost every day, testing our applications. So let's talk about these components, about identification, authentication, and authorization. And what's the difference? The first one, identification. Identification is something that identifies you. Hi, I'm Peter. So your name, your surname, your ID number or employee number, for example, this is part of identification. Next, we have authentication. And this is process to prove the identity of the requester, prove you're Peter. And how we can prove? We have three methods of authentication. Something you know, like passwords or passphrases. Something you have, like tokens, memory cards. Something you are, biometrics, measurable characteristics. And also we have two types of authentications, very important. Using only one of the methods of authentication is known like single factor authentication. If we use only password to log in, so it means we use single factor authentication. And using two or more methods is known as multi-factor authentication. And it's always easier to guess passwords than to break encryption. So it means the best solution is to use always multi-factor authentication when you work with some application. Authorization, what is it? Authorization is used to give users or services permission to access some data or perform a particular action. Authorization is used, yeah, and I was, for example, I was authorized as a tester. When I log in into the application, I was authorized like a tester. And that's why as a tester, I don't have access to data of developers. Or for example, I can't add a new user to application or to delete someone or to use data of another user because I don't have enough access for that. And next is repudiation of user data. I wanted also to discuss this topic because it's very important. It's not only important for our work like quality assurance, but also it's very important for our life. What is it? Non-repudiation is a critical aspect of cybersecurity that helps to ensure that the originality and integrity of digital transactions. It's a process of ensuring that a user can't deny having performed particular actions, such as sending an email or making an online payment. This helps to prevent fraudulent activity, as it makes it possible to prove that a user was responsible for a specific action. And I'd like to share a story that happened with me recently. I received a very suspicious message from a colleague on my team channel, and this message contained the word attack and a strange PNG attachment. Really, it looked very suspicious for me. But we quickly realized that her child had played with her mobile phone and accidentally sent me this very strange looking message. And here, non-repudiation ensures that the sender can't deny having sent a message, and I, like a recipient, can't deny having received it. Because this message was sent from her account, and I didn't think that it was some mistake or someone could use her account. That's why if you leave your computer for some time, for example, for to drink some coffee or to have chat with your colleagues, and cybercriminal created some harm against your company from your account just to have 1 minute and to use your some programs at your laptop, it will be very difficult for you to prove that you didn't do anything. Because only you have access to your laptop. Only you, in general, only you have to know password from your laptop. Only you had to use multi-factor authentication, for example, to open a browser with your company or something like that, or I don't know, like using VPN. So it means you should be very careful. And you know, some corporations in the USA train staff to close their laptops to prevent cyber criminals from stealing data or causing harm. They have a clever rule. If someone forgets to close their laptop when they leave it, for example, for chat with colleague, this person has to buy pizza for the entire office. And after paying for lunch for colleagues 2-3 times, you definitely will not forget to keep your laptop closed. So this is very strict rule. And also I know that Czech policy also has a such rule. And every time when you visit Czech police, you will see that staff closes computers every time when they leave their place, working place. Next, number 4. Secure and responsible data management. In this section, we will discuss best practices for handling source code and data. So let's start. This is more practical part. Comments and code. So when you work with an application, pay close attention to the code, to the source code, whether it's created by dev team or by you. Comments in code can be vulnerable, as they might disclose sensitive information, expose internal logic, become outdated, reveal development practices, or indicate unfinished areas and known issues. And why it might be dangerous, because now we are discussing cybersecurity. So including personal information like names, emails, and phone numbers in source code exposes individuals to risks such as identity theft, phishing attacks, and privacy breaches. Hackers can use this data to impersonate victims, craft targeted attacks and exploit personal details for malicious purposes. So that's why when you test any application, pay attention and source code, and when you work with GitHub, also pay attention and check source code that you create, especially if you work with application when you have to use some private tokens or other sensitive information. Keep it in environment file and don't show it on internet, because it might be very dangerous, and hackers might use this sensitive information against your company or against you. Next, data breaches. Data breach is an incident wherein information is stolen or taken from a system without the knowledge or authorization of the system's owner. And one of the most common ways passwords are leaked to the dark web is through data breaches. Cybercriminals target organizations and gain unauthorized access to their systems and databases. Once inside, they can steal large volumes of user data, including passwords, which are then sold or traded on the dark web. And there are different causes of data leaking. For example, password sharing. So don't share your password with anybody. Weak passwords. Your password has to be long and complex, with different characters with different symbols. Next, hard-coded credentials. Again, pay attention at your code. Lax measures to storing credentials. And password reuse. Even you have very complex, very nice looking password, but you use this password everywhere. Again, this password might be leaked, and yeah, it's not a very good practice. So this means you have the best solution for it probably to use password managers that could provide very good service, and they could create for every web application that you use original password, and to keep it in the database. In this case, you will not reuse your passwords, and you will be able to manage all your passwords. And I would like to show you now a very nice web application. It calls thehashed.com. And using this web application, you will be able to take a look whether you have any data leak or not. Just a second. So this is a very nice application, and I use it to check myself and also my colleagues when we play it with this web. You just have to add information what you want to check. For example, you have a company and you work in this company, and you created a security testing. And one of the point of this checklist is to check whether your company has any leak in the internet. And this and the Hashed will be able to help you, because the Hashed has a large database with leaked passwords and credentials, and you will be able to check everything. For example, this is okay. I would like to check myself. And you can see this application found 3 results. It means that maybe I was compromised. My maybe emails was leaked and into black market, or maybe a person who has the same name and surname. I don't have now paid version, so that's why I will not able to open this data for you to show, but you will be able to try this application, and price is not very high, something like 5-6 euros per 5 days, and 5 days will be more than enough for you to check yourself or your friends, for example. So, for example, Tesla.com. And Tesla has, you can see 1,567 results in the hashed. So, and you will be able also to do, and also we could try to add maybe an email, for example, my email. Maybe I will find something today. We'll see. No, I don't have any results, so I can breathe. So this is very nice site, and I would recommend you to try it. Okay, data breach. And next slide. Error handling. So every time when you work with a mobile application or web application, you have you also check errors. And sometimes you have to check errors also from the cybersecurity side. What does it mean? Avoid exposing details, error messages to users and production environment. Of course, you have to be sure that errors doesn't contain any sensitive information about dev environment or about in general, some sensitive information that could be used by hackers or even by just some people there. So always, you always have to ensure that error messages are user-friendly and don't disclose internal information. So also very important. No any versions, no anything that could give people some extra information about your application. So just a very neutral, nice-looking error. Next, HTTP and HTTPS. I'd like to talk about Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. Be aware when dealing with HTTP protocols and HTTPS in your applications. Using HTTP protocol instead of HTTPS, S means secure protocol, can expose sensitive data to interception and tampering. HTTPS encrypts the communication between client and server, ensuring data integrity and confidentiality. Always enforce HTTPS to protect user data, secure authentication, and maintain trust. You know, when I just started to work in IT, of course, I read about this information that you have to avoid to use HTTP protocol because it might be dangerous for you. And you have to use only secure part. And generally, of course, I read this information, but sometimes I didn't care about it because I couldn't understand why exactly it's so dangerous. I knew this information is dangerous, but why? What's going on behind? But now, but very soon, of course, when I started to work with cybersecurity, I found these answers. And I would like to share with you my information because sometimes people really they can't understand why it's so big difference between HTTP and HTTPS protocols, and why we have to be very careful using websites, especially some online shopping when we using HTTP. And next slide will show you it. Using Wireshark, this is a very special tool that captures internet traffic and displays data in TCP packets. I took screenshots from the same website, absolutely same. You can see URL of this website, Palivo.tz. And I took screenshot from the same website under different protocols. And you can see when I used HTTPS protocol, all data is encrypted and unreadable. And you can see you don't see any data of this application. Also, there are TCP packets. because we have this very nice transport layer security that protects our data. Transport layer security encrypt all data that we get from server or that we send to server in post requests. And thanks to this encryption, nobody can see our data. People can see only something, nothing. And next situation. With HTTP, you can see this is absolutely the same website, but now I've used HTTP. I've downgraded the site to HTTP protocol, and you can see everything is very clear. And now I'm, for example, hacker, and I need to get information about website. If this website doesn't have enough protection, I will be able to downgrade the site and to get full information from the site, because you can see that data are not protected. We can see all these protocols, transmission control protocols. These protocols keep our data inside, but there is no any layer of security, just protocol and our request on protocol, and again, and we can clearly see everything. And this is amazing example. Last week we played with my colleagues, with Alexandra Dedinsky and with Jakub Peniszowski. We used this Wireshark and found a very nice website. It was online shop site. We downgraded it to HTTP protocol, and you can see here, you can understand credentials of a person in post request. You can see my colleague just sent some information to this website in post request, and now you can see everything here in Wireshark. What does it mean? I just wanted to show you how it's easily for hackers to get information every time when you use not secure connection. So that's why when you read information that don't use HTTP protocol, now you know why exactly you don't have to use unsecure connection. So I hope you like these examples. And again, if you would like to play with all these protocols, you will be able to download Wireshark. It's absolutely free tool. And I used it on my Mac, on my Windows, and also on my Kali machine. It's really interesting. And of course, when you have this Wireshark installed on your machine, you will be able to capture data only from your machine. Hackers has some very special tool. It's special Wi-Fi adapter that helps them to get connection with other machines in the network. And if you work, for example, in cafe and use public network, suddenly you notice that your site, your very nice HTTPS site, started to go to HTTP protocol, not secure protocol. It means that you are under attack of hacker, and this hacker will be able to read all your information. Of course, hacker maybe not use Wireshark because there are very special tools that will be able just to capture very sensitive information. So just you have to cancel your connection to this network and to switch to mobile data, for example, or to VPN. Okay, next slide. I hope this information was useful for you. Number 5. In this section, we will talk about different types of cyber attacks. This is my favorite part. OWASP top 10. What is it? This is standard awareness document for developers and web application security. It represents a broad consensus about the most critical security risks to web applications, highlighting the key vulnerabilities that pose significant threats. And OWASP is acronym. It means Open Worldwide Application Security Project. This is online community that produces freely available articles, methodologies, documentation, tools, and technologies in the field of Internet of Things, system software, web application security, and also mobile application. And you can see the first place is taken by broken access control. And we've already saw broken access control when we talk about access control, that it's very important to take care of access control and not to let users to do things that they are not allowed to do. Next is cryptographic failures. Again, we had very good example of this failure. Every time if web application doesn't have security layer protection, it means that this is cryptographic failure. And third place is injection. After that, insecure design and security misconfigurations, vulnerable and outdated components, etc. You can see this is the most dangerous and most common risks of web applications. And let's talk about number 3, injections. SQL injections. It's a code-based vulnerability that allows an attacker to read and access sensitive data from the database. What is it? SQL. SQL is structured query language. SQL is used to communicate with a database. And SQL injections, it's a type of server-side attack. So it means that every time when hacker provide SQL injections, hacker works with server-side, not with client-side. Client-side is about JavaScript and about next attack. Yeah, and I will show you a very nice example of this SQL injection. You will understand a little bit better what is it. So imagine an application that lets users log in with a username and password. Very simple, like login form. If a user submits the username user, for example, and password, some password like password 123, the application checks the credentials by performing the following SQL query. You can see this query, select star from database users, the username equal and password equal. Yeah, this is absolutely standard query. And if the query returns the details of a user, then the login is successful. Otherwise, it's rejected. And if, for example, attacker receives somehow, for example, from source code, username of a user, this attacker, this hacker, can log in without the need for a password. And attacker can do it very easily using SQL injection. For that attacker, this is my cursor. You can see this is our standard query. And this is standard quotes in query. And every time when we write something into these fields, this information gets into these quotes. So usually, like tester, we check whether our application gets text like string or maybe numbers. But if you're attacker, if you're a hacker, you will think a little bit different. You will think, okay, this application has database and I will be able to interact with this database. Maybe this application doesn't have enough protection against hackers attack. And this attacker will add instead of some simple string query of SQL query. You can see if attacker put inside name of user which was received after maybe some attack or somehow it was known, and put one quote, and after that, for example, dash dash like comments. In this case, this query will work till this new quote, and everything after this quote will be commented. So it means that this string with these characters will work like part of SQL query. And every time when hacker or pen tester, for example, pen tester has to test a new application, this is like number one what pen tester has to do. We have to check whether application gets this query and how this application reacts on these queries. And if we get good result, so we will go further. And now I will show you how it works on real application. So this is the host. We don't need now the host, but we will need this application. You can see this is a standard model for username and password. And for example, I know that username is admin. It's admin, and I suppose password is 1234. Just will check whether it works or not. Yeah, of course, it doesn't work. But again, I'm a hacker, and I know that this is real name admin, and I will think, okay, I know this application communicates with database, and I know SQL query language, and I will try to put this one quote just to close this query and dash dash to comment everything after this query. And here I will be able to add everything as some random, absolutely random password. And let's check. Yeah, it works. You can see. Congratulations, we found this vulnerability. And what I've done, I have just entered instead of some string part of SQL query. So that's why I was succeeded. So this is a good example of SQL injections, and now you can understand why it's so important to protect every web application against this SQL injection, because it's very easy to create them, and that's where they are very dangerous, because attackers will be able to get sensitive information from database and to work with all the sensitive information. But sensitive information, it might be passwords, it might be numbers of credit cards, etc. So now you know how it looks like SQL injections. Next, cross-site scripting, also known as XSS. It's a web security vulnerability that allows an attacker to compromise the interactions that users have with a vulnerable application. Cross-site scripting works by manipulating a vulnerable website so that it returns malicious JavaScript to users. So here we work with client side. We don't work with server. We don't care about database, because sometimes website doesn't have any database, but they have very nice user's credential that hackers will be able to steal. So when the malicious code executes inside the victim's browser, the attacker can fully compromise their interaction with the application. And how it works, again, I have a very nice example for you, and I will show you.
And Marina, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah,
somebody would like to show you one more time probably the previous example.
Okay,
Thank you.
just a second. Yeah, you can see. This is an example of SQL injection. Again, and even when you create your checklist for security testing, you will be able to check your application, your working application for this vulnerability. Just add this payload. It calls payload, like some name of user that you have, that you know, one quote and dash dash, and that's it. So I hope.
Yes, all looks great. So you can go to the next step. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, and now I wanted to show you example of cross-site scripting. Yeah. So this is a very nice example of web application. And you can see sometimes we are like quality assurance, we work with different fields and we have to check these fields whether they works as expected or not. And as quality assurance, usually we add some random, I don't know, strings or numbers for a negative testing, or some right numbers or strings for positive testing, of course. And just imagine you are hackers or pen testers, and you know how to work with client side, and you know that client side is very sensitive to Java query language, JavaScript, sorry, JavaScript language. It means that as a pen tester, as hacker, you could try to figure it out whether this application is vulnerable for JavaScript injections, for XSS injections. And I will show you how it works. So we know that client side works with JavaScript. It means we could try to add some JavaScript code and see what will happen after that. I will add very simple alert something number, and we will close this script. As a quality assurance engineer, I expect that I will get error because this is some nonsense. You can see this application is about some items or some articles, but as pen tester or as hacker, I will wait for absolutely different reaction. So you will see now. I will click on search. Sorry guys, until you got this error completely. We just broken the site. Yeah, so this site has very big vulnerability. That's why, yeah, it was broken. So what does it mean? It means every time when you have to check your application during your security testing session, just try to use very simple payloads to break your application, like here, for example, to realize whether your application is not enough protected against XSS injections. Just add very simple payload like script, alert, script into fields that usually these fields don't communicate with databases. Usually such fields just after clicking just show some text on screen or something like that. So just try. It's really very interesting. And I hope, yeah, you had enough time to join the slide. And I will continue. So now you know how works XSS injections. It worked not like I expected. Generally, I expected to get alert, but instead I've broken the site completely. So this is my quality assurance part, broke the site. But in general, all this code should work like simple JavaScript code. And every time when you put alert into some field, you have to expect to get a really pop-up alert. But anyway, you just have to know that every time when hackers use XSS injections, they use simple JavaScript code, and they put this code into a browser or into fields. Sometimes it's code very simple, like you saw before, like script, alert script, but sometimes it's quite long functions that will be able to steal token, for example, of users, and to send this token to attacker. Next, phishing. Our next risk that we have to know. Yeah, and already I'm sure that everybody knows about it, of course. Phishing is one of the main tool attackers use to obtain unauthorized access into organizations. Email remains the most common channels for sending malicious messages. It's about 92% of cases. The primary goal of phishing attacks is data theft, accounting for something like 85% of incidents. So they need your credentials. They need your credentials to use these credentials to steal money, for example. Phishing links often lead to fake pages for data entry. That's why you should be very careful clicking on link, and the best solution will be not to click on link when you expect that email might be phishing. Just hover this link and check address, and also there are some applications that will be able to help you to realize whether it's safe or not. And how recognize email phishing. These emails have common signs, like unfamiliar sender, you can't understand what the sender, or like in my example, you can see I've created this like fake phishing email and address Tesena SRO. I work in Tesena, and maybe if I'm not enough aware for phishing email, or I don't have free time just to take a look at this email more careful, but I see this is Tesena SRO and I work in Tesena SRO, yeah, I will be safe to click on links in this case. And also be aware of content. You have to be very careful, because every time when someone urgently asks you to do something very, very, very fast without any thoughts, so it might be also phishing. Suspicious attachments also. Don't download anything. Don't click on links if email looks not very safe, because with this attachment you will be able to infect your laptop. Hyperlinks also, don't click, yeah, if you expect. Just be careful, because yeah, email phishing is very common now. Next, ransomware. This is one of my favorites. Ransomware attacks often use cryptography to lock the files on an affected computer and require the payment of a ransom fee to return for the unlock code. Ransomware typically targets businesses, healthcare institutions, education institutions, government agencies, financial institutions, and also individuals due to their reliance on critical data and systems, making them more likely to pay the ransom. In general, everybody will be able to get ransomware and to block their computer. And truly, of course, if you got such attack, and if your computer is locked by ransomware, in generally, after payment, and usually in Bitcoins, a hacker will decrypt your laptop, and you will be able to use it. But very often, files are corrupted so much that you will not able to use files from this computer. It happens very often. So that's why if you got ransomware, I would recommend you to call special companies like ethical hacker companies who could help you to decrypt this ransomware. And you know, it was the biggest ransomware attack was in 2017, and around it caused WannaCry. Around 230,000 computers in more than 150 countries were affected with this attack, ransomware attack. And criminals stole something like 10 billion. No, not of course stole, but people lost 10 billions after this attack. So ransomware are very dangerous. And usually emails, phishing emails infected, like send this ransomware. Next, man-in-the-middle attack. I've already told you about this attack. During this attack, hacker to place himself between two communicating parties and relying messages for them, while the parties believe they are communicating with each other directly and secure. Hacker place himself in the middle of user and server, and can intercept, can get everything what they send each other. And how you solve encrypted data before attack when you use HTTPS protocol, it looks like very secure and encrypted. And during this attack, all your websites will be downgraded, and hacker will see absolutely nice looking data, and hacker will be able to get everything from your laptop. Next, virus. A virus is a self-replicating piece of code that spreads without the consent of a user, but frequently with their assistance. User has to click on a link or open a file, for example. And computer viruses have two main functions: propagation and destruction. Cybersecurity issues, yeah. And I told you that hackers create viruses every day, and you know, maybe 2 months ago, I just played with some programs in my Kali machine, and I created viruses, just on education, of course, purpose. I created Trojan, and I created a Trojan that opened like system of my target, like Trojan with backdoor. And to create this Trojan took for me something like 1 hour, maybe a little bit more, 1.5. And this Trojan was not detected by my antivirus. I have Kaspersky on my laptop. So what does it mean? It means that it's very easy to create an antivirus. I didn't need any very deep programming knowledge to do it. And even I didn't need to go to dark web and to download some instruction how to create a very dangerous virus. No, I just used Google. And I used some video maybe from YouTube or something like that. And I've done it like step by step. So it's really very easily, and also it's very simple, because for now in our time we have everything. Like people have everything to create such destructive things, because it's very simple. You don't have to think too much to create something. Just follow instruction. That's it. Worms. A computer worm is a standalone malware computer program that replicates. So worm, be careful. Worms replicates itself in order to spread to other computers. Worms contain the same destructive potential as other malicious code objects, with another twist. They propagate themselves without requiring any human intervention. So they don't need you to click on some link. They just propagate themselves. And sometimes attackers use worms to create big DDoS attacks, for example, because these worms infect devices of many people. And when attacker needs, the devices start to send calls to targets, for example, to some server, and and server dies. So, and sometimes, very often happens with worms. And last one in the section is Trojan. A Trojan is a seemingly harmless software program that secretly contains harmful code that can damage a system or network. And how I told you before, it's very easy to create any virus and to Trojan. So that's why be careful in internet. Usually hackers create Trojan codes to establish a connection to the victim system and gain illegal access to data without the user's consent. Most often, hackers trick the victim users through social media engineering practices to install and run Trojans in the infected system. So what does it mean, social engineering? Email from like your friend or from your boss. This is part, of course, fake email, phishing email. I mean, but this is part of social engineering. That's why I added the site about source code, and that you have to pay attention on sensitive data and source code, because hacker could get information, for example, name, surname, or email of your colleague or your boss from the source code to do some research, for example, on LinkedIn or in like the hash or something like that, another program, and to create some attack against you or against your colleague or generally your company, and to steal some data or to harm all your system. So Trojans, they infect the systems. And cyber criminals using these Trojans can spy on the activities of the victims and reach out to user-sensitive data. It means that when you click on link with Trojan, like Trojan link, okay, like file infected file, for example, your machine will be attached to port, for example, 444 port, and on this port will be attached also a machine of attacker, and but you will not know about it, because it will be like in the background, and attacker will be able to go into your machine and to surf into your machine and to get sensitive data from your machine, or just infect your machine, or to put file with ransomware, for example, to encrypt your machine and to ask to pay for decryption. So this is very dangerous. Yeah, and how to protect yourself from cybercrime. To protect yourself from cybercrime, you have to utilize strong passwords. Again, it's very important. Your password should be long and strong. Yeah. Enable multi-factor authentication. Again, it's very important, and don't be lazy to use application for authentication. It's really, for now, it's even more important than, for example, 5 years ago. Regularly update software and systems, because outdated software might have some vulnerabilities, and there are some databases of vulnerabilities even in Google. You will be able to see them where like hackers, pen testers share information about these vulnerabilities and how to get data using these vulnerabilities. So that's why. And again, when you create, for example, security testing day at your work, you could also ask developers to update some part of application, for example, if there is something outdated. Next, recognize and avoid phishing scams. And be careful, just don't be in rush to answer any email. Read emails very carefully, because this is part of social engineering and cybersecurity, and hackers are very smart guys. Secure your network connections. What does it mean? You have to have again a strict password from your Wi-Fi router at home, for example. Or don't use public. Try to avoid using public networks. When you have to work, for example, in some public place, use VPN. Why VPN is really a very good choice? Because VPN enhances security by encrypting your data. VPN hides your IP address, creates secure connections, and controlling access. All these combinations makes your connection very secure. So that's why, yeah, very often VPN, of course, costs some money, but it's better to pay. Next, conduct regular data backups and minimize personal data sharing. Yeah, sharing is not caring in this in this case. Be careful. Install and update antivirus software, because again, what is it? Antivirus. Antivirus, it's like a big database of viruses, and you have update this database. That new viruses would not be able to receive your machine. So that's why it's very important. Because antivirus is not just some software, but this is like big database. Next, secure physical devices and stay informed about cybersecurity practices. Yeah, it's also very important. I would like to finish my webinar. And again, I would like to invite you to our very nice conference day workshop, Tesena Fest, and you will see we have security testing here, like workshop. This security testing workshop, we will do some very nice and funny things. So that's why bring your computers with admin rights. We will download special programs for some pen testing things. And this security testing workshop will show you a little bit more about cybersecurity and how to work as a security tester in general. So you will get something new.